Hey guys, my name is Mackenzie and I am a Color Street stylist, and today I'm going to be sharing with you guys tips and tricks so you can have the best possible application process with your nail strips, and it looks like you came straight out of a salon. So let's get right to it. The first thing I wanted to kind of talk about is I'm obviously not going to be doing all of my nails because they're done and it's only been like 4 days of the nail polish strips. So they don't really need to be done, but what I'm going to be doing just to kind of show you guys the process and a couple of tricks is applying Only in Vegas, so really pretty black glitter to my index finger. And so hopefully it'll be cute with my mani, but that way you can kind of see what I'm doing and it's not taking up a whole lot of time doing every single nail. So first things first, hopefully you're starting off with a clean base on all your fingers, so no nail polish on them unless you plan to layer up the way that I'm doing it a couple days after you've already applied some, so that's fine too. The best possible way to take off your nail polish strips if you have them on is to buy this. It's the Mineral Fusion nail polish remover. There's no acetone, so it's acetone free. It smells pretty good as well, and it's just a little bit easier on your nails. I had a problem using acetone. It was great at first, but after a few uses, I started noticing a lot of breakage in my nails. They weren't as strong. It was just really harmful to my cuticles as well. Once I changed to this, which is the Mineral Fusion, you can get it off of Amazon as well. I stopped having that breakage and my nails were a lot stronger, and it just didn't hurt my actual skin along my nails as much as straight up acetone does. So it's acetone free, highly recommend. And what I do, a little trick, is I kept my dip acetone bottle that I got from Walgreens. You can get it from like Walmart, whatever. But I actually kept this, I emptied it out, cleaned it really well, and now what I do is I just buy this in bulk off Amazon and I pour it in here, so I can still use the little dip applicator and use the little bristles in the inside to take off glitter, solids, everything. And it's just easier. I just enjoy this better. So there's my first little tip for you guys on removal. So once you start off with a clean base of no nail polish on your hands, what do you do from there? So I normally put these on at night because I can put them on and immediately go to bed and not worry about not getting them wet or things like that. But I have done it to where I put them on in a day before an event, or I'll put them into my car before I go to dinner as well. So it's completely up to you. But what I do is I usually plan it out and I do a whole cuticle care application so that my cuticles look really good when I put on the product, and that makes the whole nail itself look a lot better. These are like 4 days old, but I still think they look pretty decent considering. So okay, so you're gonna push your cuticles back. I like to do this after I get out of the shower. That way I know that my actual skin is soft, so it's not super hard and it's not difficult to push your cuticles back, or it doesn't hurt. I literally bought this off of Amazon. There's so many you can buy, TJ Maxx, whatever. But it just comes in a little bitty case and it's got these 2 utensils. I use this one, and specifically when I'm removing glitters, sometimes they're a little bit harder to remove, so I'll leave it in my little dip Mineral Fusion acetone remover, or acetone free remover, and I'll just kind of gently pull some of the glitter off and then put it back in there, and it helps to remove it a little bit quicker. I have no idea what this is used for. If one of y'all know, let me know. This is used to scrape the underside of the nail, so if you have any dirt or anything like that, you can kind of remove that. But this is the big money maker and why I kind of wanted to share this with y'all. So it pushes back the cuticles. If you've ever gone to a salon, they usually do this pretty quickly on all the nails. I like to actually spend the time soaking the nails in warm water, or like I said, getting straight out of the shower, bath, whatever, and then doing this. And you just gently push back that skin, any kind of extra skin or excess skin on your cuticles, so that all the dead skin is pushed to the edge. And the reason being is that you're gonna then move to the next step, and I highly recommend this. I highly recommend, which is like a little cuticle cutter. So these things, I got this at TJ Maxx. I know you can get it off Amazon, Target, Walmart, whatever. But this thing is amazing. I do this like once a week just because I'm obsessed with it, and I like a really clean border on my cuticle. So I'll push back the nail. Hopefully you can see that. Pushing it back. And then what I do is I take that extra skin and I just go right along the border. So hopefully this makes sense. I'll go right along the border, just removing that dead skin. This is so like game changer with your nails because it honestly looks like you left a salon because it just looks really nice and really clean. It pushes back and removes all the dead skin. And this is also beneficial because when you're actually applying the nail strip, you don't have to worry about accidentally applying it onto your cuticle, because if it's on the skin, it's not going to cure right, and then you're going to have pooling when you do like this with your hair, and nobody likes that. I really don't like that. So that's my first little tip, is to push the cuticles back with one of these bad boys and then remove the extra skin with one of these. Next little tip for you guys is going to be to file and buff your nails out. Some people don't file their nails until after they apply the strips. That's totally fine too. I always like to start off with a nice little edge and nice length on my nails. And then when I'm actually applying the strips, I just use the file just to kind of smooth out the borders. One thing I would highly suggest, especially if you have what I like to call like the little ridges in your nails, is a buffer, okay? I got this whole pack. It came with, I want to say 5 or 6 of the buffers and 4 or 5 nail files off of Amazon. So you can pretty much buy this, like I said, anywhere. But I love buffing my nails out. I don't do this like every day, but every time I change out my nails, I definitely do it. And I just very gently go through and buff it out. This is gonna remove any of the pooling whenever you have like kind of breakage in your nails. It makes it all even. And it also is gonna help to kind of smooth out those ridges, as I like to call them, that are in your nail. So when you apply the solids, a lot of times you can see the ridges. And by doing this, you're kind of making everything smooth so that it looks really, really nice during the application process. So buffing your nails and filing your nails, highly recommend. So the next step that you're gonna do is you're gonna clean your nails. So I always say soap and water, always. So go ahead, clean those nails, get under the skin of the nails and get it really, really good, nice and clean with soap and water. And then you're going to apply the little alcohol prep pad that came in your kit or set. So these are really nice. It's just an alcohol pad. So if you run out, you can use soap and water and it's fine. But if you have one of these on hand, go ahead and put that on all of your nails and clean them off, and your toenails if you're doing your toes as well. Another quick tip, do not try to remove your nail polish on your toes if you have Color Street on your hands, because it will remove the polish from your hands as well. So I always try to do my toes and hands the same day if I plan on changing my toes. Okay. Next step, or the next recommendation that I have for you guys, is to lay out the strips that you're going to be using. For today's purposes, I'm only using one strip because I'm only doing 2 fingers. So I can't really show you guys that, but it's very simple. You come, each little pack comes with 16 strips. Those 16 strips are kind of designed to fit everybody's finger properly and their toes as well. And so you're going to have a fit regardless of the packaging. You're always going to have a fit because there's multiple sizes to fit your needs. What I like to do is I go through and I kind of line it up with my finger and I find the best fit for each finger, and then I lay it out. So I put like pinky, ring finger, middle finger, index, and thumb, and I lay it all out. Another thing I do is I actually half my strips in half. I have shorter nails, so I'm able to do this. By doing this, I get like 2 manicures and 2 pedicures out of 1 pack. And then I still have some left over so that I can be a hoarder like this and keep them all for whenever I want to use them again. So it's a great little money saving hack. If you don't care to do that, you definitely don't have to, but I just do it because I like to save some of those sets, especially the ones that retire. So I half it. You don't have to do that, but before I cut them in half with my scissors, you always remove the top coat. It's got that little purple tab. You're going to take that off. I know so many people that forget this step and then they wonder why it's not applying properly on their hands. It's not going to apply properly with the plastic little piece over it, so take that off. And then like I was saying, you're going to line it up, make sure that it's going to fit properly with your finger, which ta-da, it does, so that's great. And then you don't have to do this, but I do this. I cut it in half. And why do I do that? They're the same little smooth borders on each side. This tab pulls off so that you have that little smooth round border. And both sides are gonna fit. There's one finger. And there's the other finger. And by doing this, I get more bang for my buck. I'm not wasting any strips. I'm getting the right amount of usage out of my fingers, and Now I have a whole bunch of more sets left over to use again in the future. So it's a win-win-win. Win-win-win. Now what? I always put them in order of how I'm going to put them on, and you always apply the strips pinky to thumb. The reason being, you use your thumbs to perforate the excess off. If you put the nail strip directly on the thumb and then try to go to your pinkies or whatever other finger, you don't want to mess this finger up before it has time to cure. So pinky to thumb, it's just a good rule of thumb to kind of go with. So once I lay the strips out and I know I'm going in pinky to thumb order, I take the remaining strips, I put them back in that packaging, and what do? You stop there? No, you don't. If you're gonna be saving strips, take a flat iron. This is literally my straightener. Take a flat iron, you can take an iron. Some people even can get away with using like the lighters as well. This is just easiest for me. Push them all back in this bag, remove the air out of it, and seal it up. If you don't do this, your strips will dry out. They're 95% dried whenever you get them. And so as soon as they hit like air, they start to cure. If you don't seal them up, even though you put them back in this packaging, they're not gonna apply the next time you try to use them. They're not gonna be as sticky as you want them to be. And then you really just, I say wasted $11. It's $11, so it's not so much of a waste, but if you're really looking forward to it and it was a retired exclusive set, and you just ruined it because you didn't seal it back up, that just kind of stinks. So once I'm done setting them out and cutting them and kind of having them in order, I take all the extras, tuck them back away in this packaging, seal it up so I don't forget it, and they're ready to go for next time. So now I'm gonna show you guys how I apply it. Okay, so starting off with this little strip, take it off. Just pull that little tab, there we go. And then I'm just lining it up. Making sure that it's nice and lined up with my now clean cuticles. Okay. Then I'm gonna push it down and make sure it's really smooth. A trick that you can do here. A lot of people will take this little rubber tip, and when they apply the solids, sometimes it doesn't apply super great. So they'll pull on the side to make sure there's no bubbling, pull on the side to make sure there's no bubbling. Use this, and they just use this to smooth that edge over. And this just helps it to better stick and apply to your nails. Okay. So then I'm gonna tuck that down. Use my thumb. And I just kind of perforate the extra. Yeah. And then you just pull that remaining strip off. Throw it away. And at this time, you take either the file that came in your packaging or the file you have on hand and gently file off the extra by going down. And then it's all done. That's what it looks like. My little oddball index finger. And so you'll take the other one and do the same thing on the other side. And at this point, whenever I have all my nails on, normally I would go back and smooth everything down at the end. You don't have to do it right away. Because I only have two, I just was like, I'll go ahead and do it. But just go downward motion, smooth it all out, get a nice clean border, and that way your nails are ready to go. So, and that's what it looks like. My little hot pink and black stars, a little bit of glitter on my pointer finger because this is business. So that's really it as far as the application goes. Throw away your mess and you're ready to go. A couple of tricks. The nice thing about that little cuticle cutter and that little cuticle pusher that is helpful is to get rid of all the skin. When you're applying the strips, you always want to make sure that you're applying it directly on the nail, not on the skin. So I always line it up right at the edge of my cuticles so that I have a nice, pretty long nail, and everything's covered. There's no skin. But if you lie it on the skin, like I was saying earlier, it's gonna not have a very finished and smooth cure on the nail, and it may cause pulling at the edges. And so if it's pulling at the edges, a lot of people will complain of having, like, when you have gel or something and it kind of catches on your hair when you're washing your hair, you're running your fingers through your hair, and that's really annoying. Plus it starts to kind of pull easier, and so you feel like the nail polish is coming off, and it's a strip problem. But it's not actually a color streak problem. What the problem is when you lie the color streak strip on your skin. It needs to be on the nail, not the skin. And so by having that cuticle pusher and by getting rid of the extra dead skin, you're gonna give yourself the best manicure, no pulling. It's gonna cure, and it's gonna last a lot longer on your nails than if you were to just apply it directly on the skin. So it's very just good rule of thumb just to make sure that you get all the dead skin off and out of the way. And if you notice that you lie the strip down, say it may have been a little bit bigger on the finger and it laid down on my skin, don't panic. You don't have to pull the whole nail up and restart or throw away the strip. Just smooth it down right on that finger, the whole nail as much as or the whole strip as much as you can put it on the nail. You can use your little rubber tip to make sure that it's nice and smooth and right on the finger. And then take your thumb or take another finger, and I just would normally take the finger and then like kind of line where my nail stops and where my skin starts. And it's super easy to just kind of make your own little scissors with your fingernails and get rid of any extra nail polish strip that was on the skin. And it'll just pull right off. It won't mess up the other skin. That's what I do anytime I have a little bit of a wider strip and say my nail, it's a little bit bigger than my nail. You can either cut it before you apply it to kind of mold to the shape of your nail a little bit better, or you can just apply the strip and, like I said, use your finger just to kind of mold the shape of your nail and remove that extra off. But if it applies on the skin, don't just ignore it and say, oh, well, it makes my nail look a lot wider and bigger and prettier. Remove it, because you want to have the longest duration with the nail strips, and you don't want pulling with your hair. That gets really annoying if it pulls with your clothes and it starts to pull and remove the whole nail after a couple of days. Another little tip is to let the nail strips dry. And what this means is you can go do your laundry, you can go make your bed and not worry about smudging. It's not like it's wet and it's gonna get all on your furniture and your clothes, things like that. But let it dry, as in don't submerge it in water for about 30 minutes to an hour. This is gonna ensure that the nail strip has time to completely cure on your fingernails so that they stay on, and they stay on longer, and they last a lot longer as well. So a good rule of thumb is 1 hour, no submerging in water. I will say that I have in the past gone and like done dishes or washed my hands and just very quickly dried it off with a towel, and they've been totally fine, because they do dry as soon as they come out of the package, which is why you need to seal them up. But just to kind of safe rule of thumb, wait an hour and then you can go and take a bath or go swimming or whatever, and they're totally fine. So we talked about how you can get more bang for your buck by halving them if your nail is short enough to do that, or if you care to save the nails. If you don't care, then don't worry about it. But you do have 16 strips that come in a package, and it's really nice because that means if you mess up, you have more to play around with, and that means you can find a size that works for you, and you can put them on your toes as well. And I will say, when they go on your toes, I swear they last like 2 months almost. Honestly, they last a long time. I don't really change my toes often. When I put them on my toes, I like to put these bad boys on there just to kind of sprawl them all out so I have a little bit of room to work with. And then I'll take this strip, or one of the strips, probably the smaller of all of them, and I just cut them in little bitty squares and apply them right on the nail. And this is when this tool comes in really nice and handy, because I'll smooth it out on my toes and then remove it with the sharp part of the little plastic utensil. And so I have like nub toes. They're not like long, pretty toenails. So this is kind of how I apply those to my feet. I would show you guys, but I'm not doing my feet today, so I hope that made sense. Then I have a few steps on how to make the length of the nails last longer if you're someone who doesn't like to change your nail polish strips out every week like I do. So one thing that you can do, and I swear by this, is you can apply the Clear as Day nail strips on top. So our Clear as Day packaging comes with 32 nail strips instead of the original 16 in one package. So you get twice the amount of nail strips for only $11. That's crazy. So you apply the clear nail polish. It's just like a glossy overlay, so it just enhances the glossiness of your actual nail polish. You can still see the nail polish underneath, or you can use it as a standalone and double it up if you want clear nails, but you want them to be stronger and last a little bit longer as well. So clear as day can give me like 2 weeks with my nail strips if I apply it. I don't always apply it unless I absolutely want to keep my nail polish set on for longer than a week. If I want it longer than a week, I always do clear as day. Another thing you can do is the OPI clear nail polish, or I think I have some up here. OPI clear nail polish, or the Sally Hansen matte top coat. So if you're someone who doesn't mind throwing on a clear nail polish coat and you want a little bit of strength to your nails and you don't want to play the clear as day nail strips, that's totally fine. You can apply a clear nail polish on top of Color Street Nails because it's 100% real nail polish. I would suggest, however, waiting at least 2 hours for the nail strips to completely dry to your nails before applying, or wait and do it the next day. So this obviously is going to make it like a matte coating. I've also been told that the OPI Strength Clear Nail Polish is a really good application to the Color Street Nail Polish because it makes your nails last a little bit longer, and it makes them a little bit stronger as well. But I personally use the Clear as Day, and if I want a matte coat, since Color Street doesn't have like a matte product yet, hopefully they come out with one, I use this to give me that matte finish. Another thing that you can do is either apply like a clear design like overlay, like how I have the stars on mine. It's just a clear strip that goes right on top of that like color that you choose. So they have tons of designs on the website, or you can do some kind of glitter overlay. That will definitely make the nails last a lot longer. I have found that the solids for me can usually only last about a week, and that the glitters will last like 2 weeks by themselves. The glitters are a lot more stronger than the solids are, and that's just personal experience and kind of what I picked up from other people as well. A trick that you can do with the solids is you can take the solids, and you know how I half them into separate ones so I can get 2 manis and 2 petties. You can either use the Clear as Day, that's one solution, or you can use some kind of clear nail art. That's another way to make them last longer. You can also double them up. So if you have shorter nails and you're able to cut them in half and get the most bang for your buck, you can take the 2 little pieces that I showed you, and instead of applying one on this finger, one on the other, you can just take them and apply them both on top of each other. So it gives you the same color, sometimes a little bit of a different color because it makes it deeper, and it also allows the nail to last a lot longer. When you double up a solid, a glitter, what have you, it really just makes the color just super pop, and then it makes the nail last like almost longer than 2 weeks. So makes your nails stronger, makes it last longer. And if you're someone who doesn't really care to save your leftovers, go ahead and cut them in half and double them up so you can get a little bit more bang for your buck as far as the extension and the life of the nail goes. Okay, I think that's it. So those are all my tips and tricks. I think the biggest takeaway is cuticle cutter and a buffer. So everything else is kind of just tips and tricks that I do that I like. Someone may do it a little bit differently and show you that, and you may like it. So whatever works for you, I would suggest doing that. I would incorporate these 2 little things into your routine because it really does make a nice little finish on your nails. And who doesn't love a good manicure without having to go to the nail salon and pay an arm and a leg for it? So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you'll have a blessed day. Bye.